Morning all, how we doing? Morning Pablo, Lada, Neo. How we doing? All good. I've just taken a long on the DAX, literally just got in. We are just up at the highs, but I'm looking for a long play this morning. So I've just taken a provisional long with a stop just under that low there, just ahead of the open. DAX wise, we had a big body yesterday, down candle, but we didn't get the gap fill yesterday. So I'm looking for them to do this gap this morning. We had pretty good rejection to the downside. We are still within our inside bar. We've pushed down and back up again this morning. So it's all looking pretty bullish from yesterday and so far from today. US indices as well, very bullish. Very bullish wick, hammer at the lows, rejected again down here. Again, they've got a gap fill to do as well. So all the US indices have got a gap fill. Haven't got one on the S&P. Sorry, yeah, it's only the Nasdaq that's got the gap fill. And the DAX. So looking for the gap fill today. Let's move that TP up a little bit. Anyway, so yeah. Morning Stevie. Morning Burke. Morning Diamond. So yeah, looking for that gap fill this morning, which is up here. Didn't quite get to it yesterday. Weird day yesterday. Market opened in New York, and the whole lot just completely tanked yesterday. Didn't get ADR on it, but didn't get far off. I started buying down here, and I added one in down here, I think somewhere. Then I added again. I had and I think I bought somewhere in there. I had 3 positions on there after this drop because I was looking for a pullback and I was looking for the gap fill yesterday, but I thought they were just going to dump and run with it, and then they tanked. So I added a couple more in down here after all this rejection, and then played it all the way back up to, I don't know, here I think. But yeah, really good day yesterday. Really good. 5.5% yesterday. Massive day. Wasn't all on the DAX. I had some profit on some other stuff as well. Not a lot, but mostly DAX. I've got on at the moment US dollar CAD break even. This US dollar CAD's not going anywhere. Stuck. Yeah, so as you can see, we're stuck. Had a couple on up here, which I took a loss on Friday. Down here, I just got out of a couple of positions from up there. Left 2 on. Added 2 this week. Added 1 when they took these lows out. Added another 1 as we push back up again. And yeah, we just stuck. I got into profit on it yesterday. I could have taken... I think it nearly got to 0.5% or something. But I thought it was off after this candle. I mean, to be fair, it is still off. We've broken these highs quite consistently, considerably. We've retested twice. We're not interested. So I think possibly, but I think we might be waiting for FOMC, and I've got a feeling we may come down and do a liquidity run before we do FOMC later. So we'll see. Morning, Chris. So I've got that on. I've got New Zealand dollar, US dollar, and pound odd. Pound odd's not gone anywhere either. We got the break of the 4-hour symmetrical triangle. Haven't gone anywhere yet though. I've got a buy limit just up there. Just missed me yesterday, unfortunately, on that spike. So I've just got the 1 position on. We're retesting these lows at the moment. So a breakdown below there today. That's initial, but I think we're off. So I think we're going to get this move now, hopefully on the pound odd. And the New Zealand US, I took basically a punt on this one. All trades are punts at the end of the day, but if you're not from the UK, a gamble. So I took a short position, basically looking for that drop on the New Zealand dollar. We got a spike off of the rate announcement, not very big. So rate announcement came out as expected at 2%. We'll look at the news in a minute. So I've got a pending sell limit sitting up around these highs, expecting them to come up and challenge these highs. We are above ADR already today, so I don't think we'll get much more than 150, 175. 175 is the highs. So I'm going to get into one there. I don't think I'll take another one up there. I'm just going to get into one there. But this is a major resistance here as well. So looking for one entry there, and then I'm going to add on a break of the lows and play it back down. Nicely extended on the 4 hour. We didn't really get much of a drop, and we're back up extended again, so it looks good. So that's where I am at the minute. But yeah, everything's just kind of hovering around at the minute. Loads of ADRs. We'll go through these after the open. We've got 3 minutes to the open. Obviously all New Zealand dollar related, all the ADRs today so far. Obviously the reason for ADR extensions is the rate announcement. So it came out as expected, half percent increase. So yeah, as expected, positive for New Zealand, but not massively positive. We didn't get the massive move off of it, so quite happy with that. It's just a spike. So looking for the US dollar to take over on that one later in FOMC. We got Lagarde speaking at 9. We had Lagarde yesterday. We had a few bits of news coming through on the euro yesterday, which shook the market up a little bit. Or down here somewhere. Can't remember where it was. Somewhere down here. We had what's his name talking, not Kazakh. The other one, I've forgotten his name. Anyway, he was talking, Holzman. So Holzman started talking and the market just tanked off of it. So nothing unexpected though, it's all as expected news-wise, so I'm not quite sure why the market moved quite so badly, but we have got Lagarde speaking later, so there is potential for movement at 9. We got the stability review coming out around then. The main thing I'm interested in today is Kuroda at 12 o'clock. Want to see what happens there and what the outlook is. So we may well get some red news coming out of that, depending on what is said. We had a fair bit of strength on the yen yesterday. Not massive, but it was strong. So interesting to see whether this is the start of the yen movement, but we will see. Core durable goods this afternoon again doesn't tend to do an awful lot, but we have FOMC, or we probably won't do a lot this evening because obviously the press conference, everything that is important would have been said in the press conference. So whatever he's saying tonight is going to be backing up that really. So FOMC is the main thing, 7 o'clock, that's when we're going to get the big one. Either the big one or nothing. FOMC is very, very unreliable. It's either like catastrophe, market goes mental, or we get virtually nothing. So flip of a coin on that really. Have to wait and see. We've got bank holidays tomorrow as well in Europe. So the market's just opened. Initial bit of downward movement coming in. I heard something, I didn't see what it was. So a bit of selling coming in on the DAX. So DAX on the daily, as I say, we had yesterday a bit of a sweep out, long and then short, and then ended up on a down day. But again, very spinning toppy. We are basically, every day we seem to be just completely undecided on where we're headed. It's really tricky, the DAX at the minute. I'm looking obviously for the gap fill. We haven't done it yet. We fill gaps virtually all the time. It's rare that we leave one behind. Obviously this is unprecedented times at the moment. This one here, as we know, this one took 5 days to get filled. So it's not necessarily guaranteed today, but it's worth 0.5% at the open in case we go. You know, it's the odds are there, so it's worth taking a shot. Overall, indices wise, obviously we are bearish still at the moment. We're getting less so on the DAX. The DAX is sort of settled around this area. We've settled down a little bit now. We are still bearish, but you know, we're not having massive movement in directions. We are getting a lot of movement, but we're not getting too many directional candles at the moment. As you can see, these big ones, we keep getting these big days, and then, you know, sit sideways for a bit. So we'll see what happens today. We're pushing down at the moment at the open. Nasdaq, obviously bearish still on the Nas, all indices. We did reject these lows again yesterday, so we are not interested in going below here. Good rejection at these levels. So bullish on the US indices, on the DAX at the moment. S&P bullish, again, nice bullish candle yesterday. And the Dow is more bullish than the rest. But we're still within back within the inside bar. So look at this is a pullback potentially on a short. So still looking for a little bit of bullish price action, but nothing at the moment. So we've pulled back down to the lows. I'm just rejecting a minute at the minute. Bit of a quiet open this morning. Stevie, long on the pound Swiss, but still stuck in the euro Swiss. Yes. Pound Swiss. Ooh, late night. Pound Swiss. I wouldn't be long on the pound. I mean, it is nicely extended, but I'd be a bit careful of that. I'm not expecting the pound to power up, and not expecting the euro to power up as well, obviously. So, euro Swiss, that's your pullback, basically. We're just getting a flag break, depending on how you draw this. You know, I'm not one for trend lines, really, but there's your flag. On your flagpole, you're about to break your flag. Be careful with that. Looking to come down to those levels down there at some point. Okay, so bearish open, fairly big range this morning. Okay, so if this works out, I'm going to add a second position on the break of the highs and see if we can run for that gap. I'm going to keep it fairly low risk this morning. Don't really want to give all this lot back. Not a huge amount of volatility. We're not doing a lot this morning. But this is obviously yesterday's move. There is obviously potential for more downside on this, but I'd like to see them come up and do get that sorted, because that gives them all the rain they want to do whatever they want from there, really. But pushing up a little bit. Very slow this morning. We'll have a look at all the FX stuff, because this doesn't seem to be going an awful lot. Right. So ADRs and weeklies. So it's Wednesday. Weekly ranges are in play. Obviously, the main mover is the Aussie New Zealand, based off the New Zealand dollar news. Massive tank on that, 175 ADR. This is obviously New Zealand dollar strength. So if you look at the Aussie New Zealand, we get these power ups quite regularly. They're always sort of fairly decent, but then the Aussie tends to beat it back at the moment. So the rate announcement is as expected. So I would expect it to just have a bit of a spike and then continue, because this is all going to be factored into the market. You can see the market pushed up, rate announcement on its way, started factoring in that move. We're back down now in the 24.72 zone where we like to be buying from. So this is a good spot to start a long position on. Second entry down at the 72, third entry down at those lows for a push up. Just getting extended on the 4 hour as well. We're extended on the weekly. Oh no, we're not extended on the weekly. We're 25 pips off that. But yeah, nicely extended to the downside. So looking for long opportunities. Nice rejection at 175 ADR. At least a fade back up into there, I would say. If not, fade right back up and continuation on that one. Aussie dollar wise, we haven't got any news Aussie dollar coming up, have we? We've got GDP next Wednesday. Generally, yeah. I mean, it's a bias positive. Obviously, they've done very well through COVID, and obviously through the war. A lot of money's flooded in, so I would imagine the GDP figures are going to come out positive. So it's a good looking long there. I'm already on a New Zealand dollar short at the moment. So if I take this one, I'm doubling up on my New Zealand. I don't want to get into any large positions ahead of next week, so I'm off next week. So, but I would be taking this ordinarily. Morning, Tammy. This is a really good opportunity down here. Nice tweezer bottoms, 175 ADR, nicely extended on the 4 hour, nicely extended on the hourly. M15 is extended and embedded. Bullish engulfing, just about to get a reversal alert in. You've probably just had one on M5. Hello, where's the indicator gone? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so you just had one there. Obviously, since we had this move, we've just basically gone like that. So these typically get faded. I really want to take this, actually. I'm just going to take it anyway. There's no risk at all, is it? I'm taking lots of little orders, basically. I don't want to get into this too big, basically, because I've got the New Zealand US dollar on as well. But this one, we just had a reverse alert. We're just about to get a reverse alert on M15. So if this pushes back up here, we're going to get a reversal alert on M15 as well. Just above that high, back up 150. If it pushes down and they try and do a liquidity run in London, on anybody that's entered long and trying to fade this gap, I will get into a second position at the lows. What's the spread like? It's huge, isn't it? Yeah. So I get into position at the lows, and then obviously monitor it from there. But if it then starts to push up, I'll add more positions. I'll add some size to it as it starts to push up. So it looks good. But I'm playing this intraday. I'll look at this at the end of the day, And if it's got a decent profit and it comes up and does this gap fill, obviously I'll get out. But if this thing's just sort of mucking around down here, end of day, I'll shut it down because I don't want to hold. So yeah, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, nice looking long opportunity there. Very nicely extended. Euro, New Zealand, same thing. You can take any of these. These gaps tend to get filled. Yeah, when we get these big propulsion gaps on news, which is as expected, you tend to get them filled fairly quick, usually same day, if not next day. So Euro New Zealand, 125 ADR. Again, wait for a reversal alert on that one to get in. Pound New Zealand, just had a reversal alert and retesting. Both of these, obviously, bear in mind your counter trend on them. Euro and the pound, both shorts. So you are taking a counter trend against a strong move from the other currency. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar is the better one because the Aussie dollar is bullish. So we've got more chance of the Aussie dollar powering up than we have the euro and the pound. Hence taking that one, and it's more extended. New Zealand dollar CAD, again, that's also a good one to short because we've got a strong Canadian dollar. We've got oil this evening at 5.330. We got oil today. I really wish they'd not made this orange, this yellow. It's very annoying. 3.30. So I'm having a brain fart. I can't ever remember what time oil is. So 3.30 oil should get some CAD strength. That'll pop that down to there. So that's a good short as well. 150 ADR. Just about to get a reversal alert on that one. You would have actually had a reversal alert on it in this shop and accumulation, but this is a much better one. Again, when you're looking for reversal alerts, if you take reversal alerts in accumulations, they're not reversal alerts, they're accumulations. A good reversal alert is after a strong push up and a pullback like that. We're looking for the M and the W to form, yeah? That's a good reversal alert. An accumulation reversal alert, not good. So that's nice liquidity run. So we're looking for that liquidity run basically. Yeah, and if they then push up and do that, we're looking for that liquidity run. Yeah, we're just looking for them to take some liquidity and then reverse structure. So that's a good one. New Zealand dollar CAD. New Zealand dollar Swiss. Swissy is tricky at the minute. It's very strong. We had more strength on the Swiss franc yesterday as well. Just came down and challenged these lows, took these lows out. Beautiful W. That's a perfect example. Yeah, that's a good reversal alert. W. So the Swiss franc is strong. So this is probably a fairly decent one, but I'm just a little bit worried that the Swissy might be running out of power. We've had some fairly good days off of it. So it does look pretty good, though, as a short. But all of these, anything you see like this is an ADR reversal. It's a short-term trade. We're not looking to get in long-term on this. So you want to try and get in with the bias. New Zealand dollar is fairly weak to neutral. Swiss franc has been strong. So therefore, it makes sense to be short on it. But you want to be getting out, quarter of an ADR, half an ADR, that sort of movement is what we're looking for in ADR reversals. So good one opportunity there. That's nicely extended. New Zealand dollar Swiss, New Zealand dollar CAD I think is a little bit better. And New Zealand dollar US dollar, obviously, we're expecting some US dollar strength, so that one looks pretty good as well. Fade back down into this gap. So reversal on that one. Again, we're pushing up. Just taking out that liquidity. Everybody that shorted after this and started their fade, 3-bar reversal there. Everybody that started their fade and got in short, got stops up there. They've just been taken out. So looking for them to give their reversal alert, retest, drop, fade back down. Looks good. All look good. All these New Zealands. I don't think this is a fundamental shift. It's as expected on the New Zealand dollar. So we're expecting the rates to go up. The market would have factored in a 2% rate or 0.5% rate increase. So yeah, just see if there's anything that came out of the press conference. Nothing unexpected. So yeah, good New Zealand's. I like the look of all of those. You might have to hold them for a couple of days, potentially. They might accumulate, they might push up higher, but if we get higher, obviously we're getting more and more and more extended, so you can scale in if you need to. Right, so that's all those. Weeklies, we've got the CAD Swiss. So the CAD Swiss has had a very decent move. Obviously these are, if you look at these, we've got the CAD Swiss, we've got the Euro Pound, and the Pound Swiss. So a lot of this is Swiss franc related on the continuing strength of the Swiss franc. CAD, I'm looking for some strength off of the back of this oil. It does depend what the oil inventories come out as. Obviously, lower numbers tend to be better because you've got to produce more oil, make more money. But it's at the moment we are. Oil's tricky because we've got this situation where everything is ridiculously expensive, and oil and petrol prices are going up, obviously because of what happened with the war. We are still holding higher pricing, so the market is still able to price in higher, but we are getting some surpluses building up, which tends to drive the price of oil down. So if we get negative barrels this afternoon, I would expect to see Canadian dollar potentially go up. Good DAX move coming through. I'm going to add another one just above that high. We've got really good rejection at these lows. Yeah, there's 4 wicks on the trot to the downside. We're not interested in that. And I've only seen buyers coming through there. So I'm going to add another position. Just assuming we're going to push. So yeah, so CAD Swiss obviously nicely extended. We're embedded on the 4 hour. We're back down at the 72. It's all looking really good. This zone here that I drew on yesterday, yeah, we got these highs. So this whole area basically is where we would expect to find some buyers. We've run out of buyers, run out of buyers have won, buyers have added to their positions here. We're back down retesting where the buyers are sitting. So nicely extended. So really good looking opportunity for longs there. The only thing that concerns me on this is the strength, the speed of the strength on the Swiss franc. Yeah, it's been less than a week. The Swiss franc has undone 13th of April. Yeah, so it's undone 6 weeks of price action in a week. You know, as I keep saying, we climb up the stairs, we fall down the elevator shaft. After falling down the elevator shaft, we usually get it back up again and climb the stairs, which is what these moving averages help you to identify. Yeah. That's a really bad drawing, sorry. Sleep deprived. So yeah, looking for good long opportunities here. We are not just extended on the RSI, we are embedded and extended on the 4 hour, which is what I like to see, because typically it tends to indicate we're going to get a decent move or pullback. Some selling starting to come in now on the DAX. I haven't got my other charts open. I'll open in a minute. I might get stopped out in that initial position. Oh, I've been stopped out in that initial position. So 0.5% down. Okay, I'll let that drop and then look for some buying opportunities. So yeah, CAD Swiss. I can't really take this because it's going to hedge myself against my US dollar CAD position. I'd rather hold US dollar CAD on FOMC, expecting some CAD strength. So I'll be willing to go into drawdown on that if the Canadian dollar powers up this afternoon, and then the US dollar to beat the CAD. But That's a really good opportunity. I really like the look of that one. If you're going to get into this from a planning perspective, you've probably just had a 15-minute reversal. Oh no, you haven't, because it's big drop yesterday. We haven't managed to reverse that. We've had an M5 reversal alert, but not M15. So this area, these three lines here, obviously, are where I would be looking to buy. So you can pretty much get in anywhere you like down here. But from an adding perspective, if we do break down below this low that we've just run, there's a really obvious support around about 175 ADR, so around about an ADR away from where we are at the moment. By the time we get there, if we get there, we're going to be absolutely shot. This will be like a accumulation drop, 3 levels. That thing will be ready to fly. You should get at least a 50% retracement on it. So if you add one there and add one there, you're going to get a nice easy out. Just don't get in crazy. But we got this level here. We've got another level there. Let's just draw these on properly. So we've got this level here. Somewhere down there is a really good support. We've got this level here as well. So looks good for longs, basically. Very nice extended on the weekly. We got the euro pound. This is a tricky one. Obviously, the euro and the pound are both weak. You can tell that how weak the pound is at the moment, because the euro's actually beating the pound. So really ugly market structure on this thing. It's very difficult to sort of draw it, because you've got this sort of zigzag in the middle of the market structure. Potentially it could do either that, or we could just fly off up to there from where we are at the moment. So it's a very difficult one to take a trade on. We've come off of those highs, so you've missed the opportunity on the 4 hour, and actually that was the weekly extension. You've missed it, basically, so that one's already gone. It was yesterday during New York. That was an obvious fade. I don't know how I missed that. We're coming back down into this accumulation here. So yeah, Euro pound, missed that one. Pound Swiss, this is going to be very similar to the CAD Swiss. Obviously, big strong push down, another leg. If the Swissy powers up in any shape or form, the pound is going to still come down further. So yeah. But I have CAD Swiss 15-minute reversal on my chart. CAD Swiss. Your broker will have different candles. You'll probably have a reversal alert down here. So where my broker has painted this as a negative candle, yeah, this one here. Yeah, for me is negative. If yours is positive, yeah, you'll have a reversal alert there. Trade your charts, trade what you see. That is a structure break. Yeah, this candle here has broken that structure. But my broker, that's bearish. Your broker, that's bullish. There's nothing you can do about it. Different brokers are going to have different data. You'll never ever get the indicator doing exactly the same on every broker. It's just not possible. This is why you trade your own charts. Trade what you see. So pound Swiss looks like a... Yeah, sorry, I haven't actually done the analysis on it, have I? Yeah, so pound Swiss... one. Pound Swiss we were talking about. Yeah, so pound Swiss... I like it short. There is a good possibility we're going to get a decent pullback off of it, but I'll be looking for short opportunities on it. This level's held very nicely. We retested it. We're retesting it again now. If we get a bearish engulfing out of here, it's a good looking short. So don't particularly like the look of the pound Swiss. Don't want to be long in it. Not there. You'll see if you check my SS link. What's an SS link? It doesn't matter whether you've got one or not. If you've got one, trade it. Yeah, it's your charts. Your charts are different to mine. Yeah, your broker is different to mine. If you're not using Forex, your data is different to mine. It's different. So if you've got a reverse alert, awesome, you're in. I haven't, because my broker, that is the last up candle on my broker before this down move started, before that low. That is my reversal alert. Okay, so that's all those covered. Hourlies, we've got Aussie New Zealand, obviously. Look at that. That hasn't done that, has it? We're just double bottoming at the moment, or triple bottoming if you want to count that wick. I just want to get into this if it's going to... The spread's not letting me in because the spread's so wide on the Aussie out of Asia. Yeah, so Aussie New Zealand obviously is extended on the hourly, obviously, because it's completely collapsed. Yeah, obviously that's just a decent long opportunity. We're extended on ADR as well, so 175 ADR is really the reason for taking that, not the RSI. New Zealand dollar CAD, same thing. So you're going to find a lot of New Zealand's may well light up today or have lit up, especially if they continue to push. The more they push, the better. So obviously we've got a massive propulsion gap. Unusual for it not to test within a couple of days, if not just do an A-shaped recovery and completely reverse this entire thing straight away. We've got level heading 4 on the New Zealand dollar CAD. We've got obviously CAD news in the form of oil this afternoon as well. So if we do get 175 on New Zealand dollar CAD, all the long-term investors. So on an hourly chart, you'd be thinking, oh, you'd definitely taken profit there. There won't be anybody sitting there with their stops. But if you look at that on the 4 hour, which is what the investors tend to use, in the daily, this is a support resistance bounce. So really good level. There'll be a lot of liquidity sitting there. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do come up and take some of that, all the swing traders. So New Zealand dollar CAD, lovely extension as well. 4 hours, pretty much the same as what we've been looking at. We've got the CAD Swiss, which we've looked at. We're down in this zone, really looking good looking long opportunity. We've got the Euro CAD, which is now nicely extended and has just rolled over. That's a really lovely trade short. Hedging myself. There's a couple of CAD trades I really want to get into. This one being just beautiful. Lovely downtrend, 72, massive resistance. Just doesn't fit with my US dollar CAD. That's my FOMC trade. Mind you, I've got New Zealand US on, haven't I? I'm not going to take this because I'm, like I say, I'm off on holiday anyway. So, but yeah, this looks really good. US dollar CAD. Sorry, Euro CAD for a short. You've missed the entry on M15 already. Oh no, you haven't, because this is a massive, again, same thing. Huge move. So, you know, this whole thing basically, you could get in anywhere really up here, but if we get some kind of push up, I'm looking to sell this. Looks really, really good. M5, you'll have had the reverse alert on it in Asia, but that's a beautiful M as well. That's what we're looking for, M pattern reversals and Ws. EuroCAD, so it looks really, really good on the 4 hour for an extension. Obviously with this one, you'd be looking to come all the way down to the lows. So you've got plenty of room on it, you know, so if you get in here and you want to get into a second position, if it comes back up and retests, you know, there's tons and tons and tons of downside on it. Stevie, you're plus 2% on the pound Swiss. Took it at the lows. Cool. Yeah, I'd take it off if I were you, though. Depends. I mean, it's up to you and your portfolio, obviously, but it's counter trend. So, morning, Wendell. EuroCAD. So yeah, nice looking short opportunity. Euro US dollar. So I'm just distracted by the crickets. Just setting a couple of alerts. I think I've already got one down there, haven't I? Yeah, I've already got one down there. So I'm looking to buy this up down at the lows. Obviously from a market structure perspective, there, this is potentially where we should be looking to buy this up if they're going to continue this upward push. So I'm just kind of watching price action down here just to see if we get anything bullish happening. That was a really nice rejection there, but they've just completely undone the whole thing. So if we break these lows, obviously market structure has shifted and we should be looking to play it down to these lows, but I'm just going to basically buy it off these lows. And I might actually take a position on this morning instead of using a stop on it. I might just take one there, and then if it does push down through these lows, enter a couple of positions long, because if we do get down to sort of 3/4 of an ADR today down here somewhere, I think that's where we're going to start our move higher. A little bit like yesterday, big strong drop and then a push back up. So I'm planning to start scaling in down here for a long, but just watching what happens where we are at the moment. So I'm jumping around as usual. Euro US dollar. So yeah, Euro US dollar obviously is a short. Didn't quite get up to resistance on it, and it's just starting to roll over. Nice reversal. So again, M15, you've just had the alert on this morning during Asia. Again, this is an accumulation reversal alert, so it's not the best in the world, but we are expecting it to come down from up there. Obviously, it's extended on the 4 hour. It's the euro and it's against the US dollar. So pretty much what I would expect from a very deep pullback on this last move down. So this is where I'd be looking for shorts, nicely extended, for a continuation down. The euro is being talked up quite a lot. There's an awful lot of talk about rates at the moment. Every time Lagarde or anybody from the ECB opens their mouth, they just go on and on and on about the rate hikes in July. So we know they're going to hike the rates, and there is potential for that to start bolstering the euro. But the euro economy is still struggling slightly, and we're still struggling a lot. And obviously we've still got this war potentially looming over Europe if Russia decide to do anything stupid with Ukraine. So yeah, it's very tricky. But I'm still going to be short on the euro. Even if the euro does power up to any extent, you're fighting against the US dollar here. So even if it does strengthen, If we go back to times when it used to be strong, it's going to take a while. Yeah, so that'll do. Oops. So yeah, even when we did have a strong euro or a weak US dollar, you get pullbacks on it a lot. So you're always going to get opportunities to get out of trades. So if we do get that euro move starting higher, we are going to get a decent market structure on it. We always do with the euro US dollar, which is why so many people trade it. High liquidity. But high liquidity isn't necessarily a good thing. High liquidity equals low movement, slow movement a lot of the time, because the more liquidity you have, the more price action is going on, the slower the movements tend to be. When you've got low liquidity, you get more slippage and you get more violent movement. So it's not always the best thing to be trading the majors because they tend to be a bit more sluggish. But saying that, obviously, that is good for a drop. So nicely extended. It is rolling over. So if you want to be cautious, wait for a pullback and drop on that one. And New Zealand dollar CAD we've covered already really as well. So yeah, nicely extended to the upside. Looking for some CAD strength to push this one back down. We've got obviously this high. We've also got this low. And we've got, obviously you can use the top. So this whole zone basically is where I'd be looking for it to start its move back down. And US dollar Swiss. So US dollar Swiss, I was looking for it to come back down into this zone here. Can't see it on that time frame. So this accumulation, got my buy limit. Didn't get me yesterday. It tried really hard, but didn't get me. So hoping today we get a liquidity run of yesterday's low. So there's yesterday's low. My position is just under yesterday's low, halfway through this. So I'm looking hopefully for today for them to drop this down. Bit of Swiss franc strength would be fine, or US dollar weakness, either or. US dollar weakness would be indicative of a index rise. So we are expecting potentially a bullish day on the indices. Therefore, that's quite possible. Bring them down, take that liquidity, and then pump it on FOMC. So yeah, I've got a limit order set down there, waiting for them to come down and grab me, but they haven't. So nicely extended on the 4 hour and embedded. So yeah, looking good. And again, you know, what's this? Middle of April, run up, and then boom, done. Completely undone, really fast. So big drop on this. We are very due that pullback at some point. So yeah, so that's all your RSI extensions. Just hit stop loss on my opening DAX trade. Yeah. So DAX is a bit tricky this morning. So the structure is at the moment still holding. So this low here is basically a structure break. So this is a pretty good buy down here, to be honest. But I'll just any one of these levels really could act as support as a double bottom. So obviously this level here is also potentially a double bottom, but I wait for some bullish price action. I got caught out yesterday on that drop. You know, wait for the candle to close. You know, this looks bullish at the moment. All it's doing really is retesting. So until this closes bullish and we see some liquidity starting to come through from buyers, I'm not interested in longing it. I want to see some confirmed price action before I get in long. So I got caught out yesterday. I got in too soon yesterday. I got in here yesterday, expecting them to do a false breakout, and then candle after candle after candle was bearish. So I got in on that bullish candle, I got in on a confirmation on that bullish candle, and then they came and did it again. But anything like that, yeah, that's why I got into that trade, or that's why I put that pending order in. Yeah, wicks to the downside, 3 loads of rejection on the trot. That's why I put that pending order there, because the market looked like it was rejecting. That's why I use pending orders, because if I'm wrong, I don't even get into the trade, let alone take a loss. So if this closes bullish but as an inside bar, it's bullish. So what I will do is have a buy stop above that high. Wait for the market to confirm to me, yes, we are starting to see some bulls coming through. To me, that's the best way to get in. Safest way. And then when it's confirmed, we add to our positions as our idea starts to play out. Just going to cancel that pending off for the minute. And wait for this to close. But yeah, tricky one, the DAX today. It's always tricky when we have this situation regularly. You know, it's tricky when you've got a very, very high probability trade idea sitting there that didn't get completed. And the further away you get from it, the more nervous it makes you feel about it actually going to happen. But, you know, look at last week's scenario with the gap last week. Here. Yeah, this gap. We were playing this short, got crucified that day, made some money back, then it went again, left another gap in the market and flew away from it, and we're like, Jesus. And then look what happened. Literally, vroom. I mean, you pretty much class that as one day. Nothing but, we need this gap filled, guys. Done. Yeah. So the further away you get from it, the bigger the day tends to be when you've got one. But the more difficult it is when you know this is happening and this is coming, the more difficult it is to not have that opposite bias. It's very difficult. It puts you in a very difficult mental situation. So at the moment, that's where we're sitting. We're sitting with this very big gap, with the market unfilled, and obviously we've got the Nasdaq backing that up as well. So yeah, tricky day. 30 seconds left. Seems to have completely frozen. Wendell, I'm long. Sorry, I missed your comment. I'm long pound US dollar. It's 124,900. First target 126. Yeah, looks good. Support bounce, resistance target. The only thing I would say is you are obviously counter trend. But apart from that, looks like a good trade. I'd get out ahead of FOMC if you don't hit it though. I tried giving it a big stop loss. Diamond, yeah. Well, you can't do much about that. Sometimes big stop losses are a hindrance. There's two trains of thought on stop loss sizing. We've got, obviously you can change this price action toolkit to use pips, or you can use the last candle or this candle's low and high. But if you use a wider stop to give yourself breathing room, obviously that's great and you'll get a higher strike rate, but obviously you are going to be risking less on your trades, so therefore you make less money. If you use a tight stop, and the other problem with using a big stop loss, so if you get in there, for example, and you have a big stop loss down here, you've just been stopped out. So it's taken half an hour to prove you wrong. If you got into that trade there with a stop loss under here and you got stopped out on the next candle, it's taken you 5 minutes to prove you wrong. And now you can shift your bias short on a break of that IRB low, and boom, you're in, and you've got a nice trade out of it. So there's pluses and minuses for big wide stops, and they've got their uses. The trouble is, you never know which one to use because you can't know what is coming in the market. So I know a lot of scalp traders, which is why I designed this this EA to take these trades quick, that will only ever use candle low, because what they want to do is they want to either be proved right by the market or proved wrong by the market within 5 to 10 minutes and be out of that trade, because if they're wrong on the market they can shift their bias. Right, okay, I was wrong, I was going for longs, looks like the market wants to go short, let's get in short and make some money. Yeah, so there's pluses and minuses. The danger with it is, using a tight stop loss, is this. Yeah, your tight stop loss is there. You might have taken 10 trades and been wrong on every single one of them. So, this is not easy. This is not an easy job. Easy jobs pay low wages. In fact, this is one of those awkward, hard jobs that pays no wages for most people. So it's a bit of a unique thing to do, isn't it? Right, we've got some nice rejection down at these lows holding. So I might try one down here. In fact, I'm going to do exactly what I just said. I'm going to go under this candle. Yeah, so I'm going to get in here. If I'm wrong, get me out. And then I'll see what price action does. And then I've got the opportunity to go short, which is what my initial idea was. Trading down to here. So if market structure is going to hold, yeah, if we're going to get a hold of structure, this is the low. If we're not going to get a hold of structure, I'm planning on double bottoming. So it means I can flip myself short down to here. If we're going to whipsaw, I'm going to get in trouble. But hey, c'est la vie. Did I cover Euro US dollar? Yes, because it's extended on the 4 hour. So it's just, we've had the reversal alert on it. Not particularly pretty, but it has reversed. So yeah, short. We've got two levels potentially coming up. If it decides it doesn't want to, yeah, I mean it's kind of a zone. It's somewhere around here. There's another level. So that's kind of where we accumulated and tested. So I'd say that's probably it. So 150 ADR and just under 100 ADR today. If this pushes up further, obviously we're just going to get embedded. I'm expecting FOMC to power up the US dollar. So this is right where we would look to short it. And obviously if the US dollar for any reason weakens off of FOMC, you've got this sort of level to look at as well. So 1, potentially 2, 3, 4. And if we're up there, we're obviously like that. And this is a euro we're talking about. So for the euro to get up there, you know, it just doesn't happen. It does happen down here, obviously regularly, because the euro is bearish. But yeah, highs, no. So we're the highest we've been since the end of the war. The end of the start of the war, sorry, end of March. Long one. Okay, so I'm looking for market structure. This to be the low, and at least to come up and retest those highs. But obviously looking for the stop, the gap fill, ultimately. I use the wider stops with the intention of scaling in. So I'm starting small. Yeah. So that's the good reason for using tighter, sort of smaller, wider stops if you're going to scale into a position, definitely. Obviously, this is the disadvantage of using tight stops. I want to be out fairly quick. I'm just looking to try and grab 0.5% off of this initially, and then see if we can get a pullback to jump in on a bit of a wider position. But run out of steam. Oh, you're kidding me. Aussie New Zealand, look. Missed my buy limit. Oh, we're waiting for Lagarde, aren't we? 9 o'clock. Okay, Lagarde's speaking in a minute. Participate in a panel discussion titled European Unity in a Disordered World. Okay. Things slow today. FOMC day. We quite often get sideways on FOMC, don't we? We've had the New Zealand dollar news, which has obviously shaken up the Aussie pairs, but FOMC, we tend to find FOMC is very rotational during the day because the market doesn't want to execute large orders until FOMC has been done. And then that's why we get the movement off of FOMC typically, because the market's right, okay, yeah, that's what we were hoping for. Now let's get the orders in. And then they start to move it. But that's obviously 7 o'clock tonight. So we might find I'm sitting in a very similar position at 6 o'clock this evening, as we just go sideways today. But hopefully we'll get these pullbacks on the New Zealand pairs. Just return to origin basically. I'll leave that limit in, but yeah, didn't get me unfortunately. I'll add in though. Stick TPs on these. Looking for this basically to hold. Just get an accumulation in here and push. Just about to get a reversal alert on New Zealand US. Just going to take a second position on that. It's a bit close. It's not too bad. It's about 40. It's about just under half an ADR. But just getting a reversal alert. So that's starting to fade. So that Aussie New Zealand should be pushing nicely. Just about to get a reversal alert on that one as well. So a little bit of selling trickling in on the US indices. You can see it's like few orders. We're just getting a push down and then faded back up. So the buyers are all sitting there absorbing all of these sell orders that are coming in at the moment. A little bit more coming in on the DAX. But what we're looking for, the reason I use tick strike in quiet times like this, is I want to see all the sell orders coming in, but I want to see the buyers holding their ground. So loads and loads of people selling and the buyers just absorbing all that selling action. And then as soon as that turns green, we'll get a run because there won't be any sellers left because they've all sold. As price moves up, their stops get hit, which adds buy orders to the market, and that's what pushes the candles back up again. So if we get continued selling and we start putting in new lows, the sellers are winning. So I'm looking for the sellers to not make much ground. But it's difficult when there's little liquidity. So yeah, so we've had 3 lots of selling orders executed there. We're not really going anywhere. So that's a good sign. Obviously someone could just sit there and dump a couple of 1,000 contracts in the market and it's all over. But nice little double bottom. Reversal Aussie New Zealand. M15. Stopped out of 1. So be prepared for a potential retest on that. Fairly nice M though, second leg M. Loads of selling coming in now. So it looks like we're wrong on this. Closing that out. Going short. Oh, okay, gone short with another one. I was just going to put a sell in there and then drag it down just below these lows, but I got gathered up a bit quicker than I was expecting there. So targeting these lows, and then I'm going to flip it here back long again. Nice selling off on the New Zealand dollar. Got a bit of strength coming through on the US dollar CAD as well. So US dollar CAD, I've got New Zealand dollar US dollar on. If I can get up to 0.5% on US dollar CAD today, I think I'll probably take this one off and just hold New Zealand dollar US dollar. Because I don't want to be overexposed on the US dollar at FOMC. So if we can get back up to here, I think this is roughly where I had 0.5% yesterday. Might even been more than that actually. But it looked very much like it was going. Obviously with what we've got happened yesterday is the bounce. So we got a nice support bounce yesterday. Which has held again today in Asia. So looking for a break of those highs. I'm not going to add because I've already got 4 positions on. I've got 3 in profit and 1 in drawdown. So I'm not going to add any more to it. But if we can get back up to here, I'll basically close that one out at break even and take these 3 as profit. And then ahead of obviously FOMC, I'm holding New Zealand dollar US dollar short. So looking for US dollar to power up, which means my New Zealand dollar US dollar will come down. And I've got 2 on that. So if we can get back down to here, ahead of New Zealand, ahead of the US, ahead of FOMC, I'll have those 2 nicely in profit, hopefully for a drop. Oh, you're not going to be hideous to me today and put me in 2.5% drawdown in the morning, are you? I got in a little bit too hot and heavy there. That was not meant to be an order. That was meant to be a pending order under there. I was looking for it to pull back so I could just drag that order down, and it got triggered. A bit silly actually, but extra 0.5% risk. But I'm looking for this low. So this low here is the current market structure low, responsible for that high here. So I'm looking for that to get broken, which would then make market structure, that be the peak formation high, low, and then we should continue down from there, down to these lows at least. But the sellers have all dried up for the moment. So Lagarde is speaking at the minute. Let's just see if she's saying anything interesting. Yeah, more bearish. We're planning on doing this, but anything can happen. Okay, testing the lows. So looking for them to pop that. There you go, there's the pop. So everybody, all the buyers there that were buying into that low, all puked. You saw that pop, that quick fast move out the bottom. That's everybody stops being triggered. So that makes way for the sellers to move down to the next level, which is down here. Hopefully, if there's enough sellers left in the market after that. Oh, I just hit the break even button by accident. Whoops. I was trying to grab that line. Just, why is my stops break even? Triggered into second position on Aussie New Zealand. I'm going to get in the third one pretty quick as well. The spread's massive on this thing. Okay, just testing the lows. See if we get a pop down here. We've got 9 seconds left on this candle. Strong close candle. So we've got an SC there. And we broke straight through those lows as well. So not stopping, straight through. Nothing coming out of ECB. And take one off at the lows. See what I'm at. If I'm at 1.5% down there, I might take that all off. That puts me back break even for the session. Oh, update as well. Sorry, I meant to do this at the beginning of the session, but I forgot. If some of you might know, I've been doing a challenge with Traders Central. And remember I said their Telegram group is just absolutely full of complaints. Literally, I've never seen such a busy Telegram channel. There's 11,000 members in the Telegram channel. Literally every time I look at it, there's about 100, 200 unread messages I've got. And it's basically just exactly the same questions over and over and over again, which is, I've paid for an account, I haven't got it. When am I going to get it? And the answer is always, you will get it when the office opens. They're in Canada, so the office opens after market, which is utterly useless. So you'll get it after the market, after the office opens. And the other questions, which is more of them, is I've passed stage 1, or I've passed, stage 2. I've had no communication from you whatsoever. So past stage 1, which is 10 days basically. You've got to trade for 10 days or a minimum, or you can hit your targets, etc., etc. They don't send out any email confirmation. There's no confirmations in the back end, congratulations or anything like that. So you basically have to go into the Telegram group and ask one of the support guys. The support guys then ask you exactly the same questions. What's your MT5 ID? What's your email address? Send me a screenshot. That's a really bad camera. That's meant to be a camera. Send me a screenshot of your back end to prove that you've passed. And then after you've done all of that, they say, we will pass you over to the risk team for risk assessment, and then after the risk assessment has passed, we'll put you on to stage 2. You'll get your emails, your logins by email. Yeah, there are people in there saying this happened 5 days ago, 7 days ago, 3 days ago, etc., etc., etc. And I was like, oh, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. This is me. I started this challenge on the 10th of May. I've traded for 10 days. I've got 9 days in profit. I haven't hit my max stop loss. I have smashed my profit. Well, I didn't. I hit my profit target. I did smash it. I had a down day at the end. I had one martingale strike because I took a 0.5 short, and then I accidentally took a 0.1 short because I thought 0.5 was too small a contract size. And of course, because I changed it, I got martingale. So they've got this really strict rule on this. You've got to be careful of that. They're very strict on it. I've seen many people losing their accounts in this Telegram group, having said, I haven't done martingale, and yet your system, your Bagley thing, whatever it is, keeps flagging me up. So I'm sitting here now 15 days into this. I've asked 4 different support people where my stage 2 is, and I keep getting the same thing. You'll get an email, you'll get an email, you'll get an email. How long will it take? It'll be done when the office opens. So I wait for the office open. 6 hours into the office open, I email them, or I send a Telegram message going, nothing's happened. Oh, okay, it'll be with the risk team. The risk team will get in touch with you shortly. 5 days in. I haven't even got to stage 2 yet. My Forex funds, the second you hit your targets, you get an email from them, and in the back end there's a button to press to say, move on to stage 2, and I'm done. Yeah? Second I got stage 2 passed in my Forex funds, there's a button to say, congratulations, hit the button, sends you the contract, you fill the contract out. Within hours, I had a live funded 100k account. I'm sitting here 5 days, and apparently this has got to go through risk analysis. What the hell? These are the risks. You tell me I've got to trade for 10 days. I've got to have 5 positive. I can't hit that. I have to hit that. I can't hit that more than 3 times. Tick, 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 tick. Give me my account. Do not use this company, honestly. And there's a guy yesterday in there. He passed stage 2. They then turned around to him and said, don't like the way you trade. We're not giving you a funded account. And they gave him a refund. So this guy spent 2 months, because he didn't pass it in 10 days. He passed stage 1 in 20, and then obviously it took a week for him to get to stage 2. Then he passed stage 2 after about 20 days, I don't know, however long it was, but basically 2 months. And then they turned around and said, no, actually, don't fancy it. And gave them a refund. Yeah, so traderscentral.com. Avoid like the plague. If you're looking for funding, these guys are the worst. Absolute worst. I might get funded with them. Obviously, I've just passed stage 1. Well, I think I have. I don't know. The risk team's having a look at it. It's a demo account, for God's sake. But I've passed all of stage 1 criteria. So I'll let you know when I get to stage 2. And if I pass stage 2 and I get a funded account, I will let you know. But so far, my God, these are awful. Terrible. And the back end is just hideous. It's just awful. Look at their website. They spent loads of money on their website. But I've got that me. Loads of money on the website. Half of it doesn't work. Marketplace doesn't even exist. Tools doesn't exist. And apparently you can start your own prop firm. They'll give you liquidity to start your own prop firm. It's just, this thing is just stinks, to be honest. So anyway, that's not my full review. But 15 days. I'm still sitting here waiting for my stage 2 account. So anyway, I meant to do that at the beginning, but I don't know if anybody else is with them. But yeah, my Forex funds, spot on. Use my Forex funds, FTMO, anybody else basically at the moment. Hopefully, I don't know if they're new or what it is. Did I actually do due diligence on this? I'm not sure. Can't remember if I looked them up. Come on. This is something I normally do with prop firms, but I mean I just take prop challenges because partly to do it on here, but. My God, this is slow. Just going to check them out and see when their domain was registered. Unavailable? $19.99. So it's an old domain, updated December. Right, so they launched December, so they're less than 6 months old. Got a feeling this might be one of those pop-up ones where it's going to vanish. So they've bought basically an aged domain, which will have SEO benefits to buying aged domains, and then obviously it all got updated in 2021 December. So they launched in December. So far, not a good experience. But anyway, there's my review so far. We've got a bit of rejection going on here. There's not many sellers and buyers coming in at the minute, but this is where I want to start looking to buy it up. So I'm going to take that 0.6. It's 900. It's a long way. Okay, so I'm starting a what? Oh. Didn't change that back to pip amount. I'll take that though if it holds. That's an accidental trade. Let's see if we can get some momentum. It'd be lovely to get some momentum off the back of this and hold that. Really nice tight one. Otherwise I'm going to lose 0.5% on it. I'll take 0.1% loss. Go on, push. So that's the actual trade I wanted to take. So I'm going to scale in with multiple positions, nice wide stops. No. It's too much risk. I'm not going to risk 0.5% on literally a 12-point move. So yeah, going to start to, I've just closed them all out, haven't I? Buy. So I'm going to go with an initial position down there. So this is where I'm looking, somewhere around here. I'm looking for long position to build up for this gap. So I'm looking for them to fill this on day 2. And obviously that would be indicative of going into rotation and holding in this area. Stop down there. So I'm just going to move that one down slightly. So that's going to be slightly more than 0.5% risk down at this double bottom. And plan is to scale in. So if this does drop, I will scale in to multiple positions down here with a view to putting on a couple of percent risk and looking for that move up. Obviously you can see I'm targeting the gap fill, so that's 1% gain there on that one position. So I'm looking to build a decent sized position on it. If it starts to push up and we start making new highs, then I'll start scaling in on the way up as well. But that's what I'm looking to do today. Unless the market absolutely collapses and we get some huge selling off, then obviously I'll deal with it in due course. But so far this morning, 0.96 down. Not a great start to the morning, but hey, a little bit more aggressive this morning because obviously I'm having a good week at the moment. So we're only on Tuesday, Wednesday rather, so I'm up 7.5% this week. Right, so that's what I've got on. You can see what I've got on. Pound odd, I'm short. New Zealand US, I'm short. US dollar CAD, I'm long. Aussie dollar New Zealand, I'm long. So I've got 2 New Zealand shorts on, 2 Aussie longs on, 2 US longs on at the moment. Looking to get rid of this US dollar CAD today. If I can get up to 0.5%, I'm just going to take that and bank it, stick it over there. And then I'll hold the New Zealand dollar US dollar through FOMC and see if I can get some traction off of that one. New Zealand dollar US dollar, obviously we've just had the push up. I've got 2 positions on this one. Now got that one on the reversal alert and the initial one that I took yesterday. And I've got a sell underneath these lows here. So if we get back down to this sort of area ahead of FOMC, which is very possible today, even possibly lower, and FOMC kicks off and powers up the US dollar as I'm hoping it will, that's going to drive this down, gather me up into that next position. And then obviously we'll see how far we can get as a drop. Obviously if it goes the other way, I'm going into drawdown. So if I'm going into drawdown, I don't want to go into drawdown on 2 US positions. I only want to go into drawdown on 1. So I'm going to keep an eye on this today and just plan to get rid of that one because that one's obviously going to be in profit. And I'll be monitoring this as well. So I might take this off if it decides to drop. We've just taken out the Asian highs, so there's every chance that this thing could just, like I say, FOMC, it's quite normal to see an accumulation during London and New York, and then just basically take out the highs, take out the lows, take out the highs, take out the lows, and just basically build a position ahead of FOMC ready to move it whichever way they want to go. So we'll see, but if we can get back up to those highs, I'll be out on that one. But yeah, that's it. We've stalled. There's no buyers or sellers coming in at all at the minute. Lagarde is probably still sitting on her chair. Nothing coming out of that meeting. Russia's foreign ministry does not rule out global talks to unblock Ukraine's ports. Moscow is in touch with the UN. talk is cheap, Mr. Putin. So just be aware of news today. Where are we? Wednesday. Kuroda at 12. So the yens obviously may well get some decent movement off the yens. I'd be very surprised actually if we do get a lot of movement off of that. I'd have to say something pretty changing to actually move the market ahead of FOMC. It's more likely that if there is a sentiment change, they'll hold off until FOMC. We've got durable goods this afternoon, an hour ahead of market open, just to be aware of. Doesn't tend to do an awful lot, but FOMC 7 o'clock tonight, so that's the one to keep your eye on, and we'll get some decent movement off of that hopefully. All right, so that's it for the morning. I'm just going to start, as I say, this long position. I'm not going to get in too hot on this. I'd like to add one here if we get some bullish price action off these lows. Failing that, I'm looking to add either in this propulsion gap here or down there, but I'm obviously just waiting for some bullish price action. So I'm probably looking just to take 3 positions if it drops. If we push back up above this area here, I'll probably add another one up there somewhere, and then obviously deal with it accordingly from there. But yeah, looking to play this. But as I said, we may well not get that. We may well just get rotation today. Just have to wait and see what happens. But so far, obviously, it's not really interested in doing a lot after this initial dump. All right, so have a good one. I will be back tomorrow morning at 7:50, 8 o'clock more likely. Thursday mornings I have a class at 6:45 in the morning, so I'm not back until later. So somewhere between 10 to 8 and 8 o'clock tomorrow morning I'll be on, so just bear with me if I'm a little bit late. And obviously keep an eye on your pairs ahead of FOMC, and hopefully we get some decent push on the US dollar on that one. The other thing I might do with this, again just quickly before I go, the other option with this obviously today is that we push up to these highs and we break them and we sit up around here, which is under ADR. If we do that, what I might do is take that off, and then move break even on the other 2 positions, because I'll have a bit of room between my break even point, which would be between these 2 positions, and where price is. If they then decide to run FOMC from there, I might hold these. So I'll see. It all depends what happens at these highs. I'll be watching these highs. I haven't got my alert set on that. Just realised. So I'll be watching these highs here to see if we get, if we tap up into them and then we get a big bearish reaction, that's when I'm going to get out. But I'm going to watch it because we may well just slam through it and then hover there. And if we hover there and then push up, I'll be wanting to keep that on. But we'll see. It's got to get there first, obviously. We haven't got there yet. Starting to push on the DAX a little bit. Okay, guys. So if you need anything, I'll be in the Telegram group. I'm in there all day. I'll be monitoring this position and everything else. And if you need anything, let me know. Otherwise, see you tomorrow morning, 7:50, and good luck with FOMC.